Did you know that a small group meeting only 8 times a year decides how much the dollar in your pocket is worth? And one small decision from them can shake the entire global economy. Today we're talking about the Federal Reserve, America's central bank, and how it controls the money supply, and how this actually affects your everyday life. Bassalam alaikum, and welcome to Money Regulation Hub. If you want to understand banking and finance, you're in exactly the right place. In today's video, we'll discuss the 3 major tools the Federal Reserve uses to control money supply, and understand how inflation, interest rates, and the job market connect to all of this. By the end of this video, it'll be clear to you what it actually means when the news says the Fed raised rates. So let's get started. First, let's understand what the Federal Reserve actually is. It's America's central bank, established in 1913. Its job is to keep the economy stable through 2 main goals. First, keeping prices stable, meaning controlling inflation, and second, ensuring maximum employment. These 2 goals sometimes conflict with each other, so the Fed has to maintain a balance. Now the question is, how does the Fed actually do this job? It has 3 main tools, which we'll go through one by one. The first tool is open market operations. This is the Fed's most frequently used tool. Here, the Fed buys or sells government bonds, called Treasury securities, from banks. When the Fed buys bonds from banks, it gives those banks new money in return. Banks now have more money on hand, and they push this money into the market through loans to people and businesses. This increases the money supply. On the other hand, when the Fed sells bonds it already holds back to banks, banks hand their money over to the Fed, which reduces the money circulating in the market. In simple terms, when the economy is slow, the Fed buys bonds and pumps money into the market so people and companies spend more. When inflation gets too high, the Fed sells bonds to pull money out of the market so spending slows down and prices come under control. This day-to-day operation happens through a special desk at the New York Fed called the trading desk. The second tool is reserve requirements. Every bank has to keep a portion of its deposits in reserve, meaning it can't lend out all the money it holds. In the past, the Fed would change this percentage to control the money supply. If the reserve requirement is lowered, banks have more money left over to lend, increasing the money supply. If it's raised, banks must hold more in reserve, reducing their lending capacity. By the way, since 2020, the Fed has actually set the reserve requirement to 0. So this tool isn't actively in use right now, but it's important to understand because it's a fundamental part of the system and could be used again in the future. The third, and currently most talked about tool, is interest rate control, specifically what's called the federal funds rate. This is the rate at which banks borrow money from each other overnight. The Fed doesn't set this rate directly. Instead, it sets a target range and then uses open market operations and other tools to keep the rate within that range. Why does this rate matter so much? Because when it rises, borrowing becomes more expensive for banks, and they pass this extra cost on to customers, meaning your home loan, car loan, and credit card interest rates go up too. When the rate is lower, loans become cheaper, people spend more, businesses expand, and the economy grows. But if too much money enters the market, prices start rising. That's inflation. This balancing act is something the Fed manages constantly. Let's take a real-life example to make this clearer. In 2022, when inflation in America hit a 40-year high, the Fed started raising interest rates rapidly, sometimes by 0.75% in a single meeting. The goal was to make spending more expensive, reduce demand, and bring prices under control. On the other hand, in 2020, when the economy nearly shut down due to COVID, the Fed cut rates to almost 0 and bought a massive amount of bonds, a process called quantitative easing. This is a 4th tool used in emergency situations where the Fed buys assets on a large scale to flood the market with money and support the economy. Another thing worth understanding is interest on reserve balances. The Fed now pays banks interest on their reserves. This is a modern tool that allows the Fed to directly control rates without needing to buy or sell as many bonds. If the Fed raises this rate, banks find it more attractive to keep their money parked at the Fed instead of lending it out, which reduces money in the market and pushes overall interest rates higher. Now the question arises, how does the Fed actually make these decisions? There's a committee called the FOMC, the Federal Open Market Committee. It meets 8 times a year and decides, based on economic data, whether to raise, lower, or hold rates steady. They look at inflation numbers, employment reports, GDP growth, and global economic conditions. This decision isn't made by one person alone. It's made collectively by a committee that includes the Fed chairman along with regional Fed bank presidents. Now you might be wondering, how does all this connect to your everyday life? When the Fed raises rates, the interest you earn on your savings account can go up too. Good news for savers. But if you want to take out a loan for a house or car, it becomes more expensive. The stock market is directly affected as well. When rates rise, investors become more cautious, and stock prices tend to fall. And if you own a business, borrowing money for expansion becomes costlier when rates are high. One important point to understand is that the Fed is independent, meaning the US government or the president can't directly order the Fed to raise or lower rates. This is kept in place so decisions can be made purely on economic data, free from political pressure. This independence is also considered an important principle for central banks globally. Let's quickly recap what we learned today. The Federal Reserve uses 3 to 4 main tools to control the money supply. First, open market operations, where buying or selling bonds increases or decreases money in the market. Second, reserve requirements, currently set to 0 but still an important tool that exists within the system. Third, the federal funds rate, the most discussed and most directly impactful tool. And fourth, modern tools like interest on reserves and quantitative easing, used for emergencies or fine-tuning. Together, these tools decide how much money is in the economy, how cheap or expensive loans are, and which direction overall inflation is heading. If you found this video helpful, please subscribe to this channel, Money Regulation Hub, and don't forget to like this video. Let us know in the comments what topic you'd like to see next: the banking system, stock market, or cryptocurrency regulations. In the next video, we'll talk about how banks actually create money through fractional reserve banking, which might surprise you. Until then, Allah Hafiz, and take care.